Hey guys, I'm coming to you guys with this new podcast episode from a different view in my room. I don't think if this is going to be the permanent one, although I do like it a lot more because you can see my books better and it's just like a cozy area. I'm doing it from here today because I'm not feeling too well, so we're doing it from the bed. But today we have a pretty exciting topic. We're talking about the Boys of Tommen announcement. But of course, before we do that, we're going to do current read, what I'm drinking for the episode, and the song I've been obsessed with. So let's go to Spotify because not been on a big music mood recently, but if I have to say a song, actually I do know the song I've been obsessed with recently, Supercut by Lorde. The vibe of that song makes me want summer so bad. And I already am in that mood. I keep telling my mom, like, I just want to go to the beach. I just want to go to the beach. I want to go to the beach. And that song reminds me of summer, and it's giving me summer 2026 vibes for some reason. So that's song of the episode. Drink of the episode, which is right here, is Wata, because it is currently almost 8 o'clock at night. And I just finished doing some homework, but we're not having any fun drinks because usually my fun drinks involve caffeine. And it's Saturday night, so it wouldn't really matter, but we're being healthy for once. And then for my current read, which I'm actually almost done, I'm reading A First Time for Everything by Cale Wather. I do have the physical copy somewhere there, but I don't want to go grab it. So here's the Kindle. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really fun time. I always have such a fun time with her books. This definitely is, though, it has to be one of my least favorites because of how our main girl is acting sometimes, but she is a 17-year-old teenager or 18. I had to keep that in mind. But I don't know, there's some of her decisions even I wouldn't have made at 17. But that's not what today's episode is about. Today's episode is about which I'm wearing the perfect hoodie. I'm wearing my Heated Rivalry Ilya Rosanov hoodie. We're gonna be talking about the TV adaptation of Boys of Tommen and its discourse because it's been extremely negative. I tried to film this about a week ago now, and I was really frustrated, so I decided to wait it out. And not for the reasons you think, because I made a list. Oh wait, well, you can't really see it. I made a list of points so I don't really rattle off because that's what I did last time, and I probably was talking about things I didn't really explain well, and I didn't want to post something where I wasn't saying what I was trying to say. So, first of all, when I saw the news, I was really excited. I was really happy. I'm a big fan, Boys of Tommen. Sure, I haven't read, which also, you can still be a fan of a book series and not have finished the series because I feel like some people will say if you haven't finished it, you can't really comment on it, and I, for one, don't think that's true. I have to take my time with this series because they're emotionally heavy, and I'm an emotional girl, and I just need to be reading them when I'm stable. I remember reading Binding 13 and Keeping 13 back to back, and I was a happy person, but like, I had such sad moments outside of reading the book because of the book, so I have to separate the series. Um, but I'm a big fan. I really do like this series. And I was really excited when I saw the announcement. All I saw was that Chloe Walsh posted the picture of the script with Prime Video. And I was really excited. I made a TikTok about it, just, being excited. And then I started seeing the discourse. And y'all, it is so negative. People already assuming the absolute worst out of the show is insane, saying they're not going to do the right casting, they're not going to do the right whatever. First of all, not everybody is going to be satisfied. They could have the most perfect casting ever, but not everybody's going to be satisfied. That for one. And second of all, I feel like this fandom does so many fan castings that there's an expectation that might not be met. And I think I'm trying to put these in the right words. These fan castings are really Americanized. These people that you guys are choosing are very American looking men and women. And some of you might not be happy with the results if they do, which they should do, a full Irish actors cast. They should do that. That's the one thing. I have a few requirements I want to see out of the show. I can get this out of the way now. I want a full Irish cast. Obviously, it has to be filmed in Cork or in Ireland. Sometimes it can be hard to film in the place of. Um, I do think. Well, do I have? I do. I did have other requirements. Oh, I don't know. Just like there's some things I can't choose because I'm not a producer. But basically, full Irish cast and has to be filmed at least in Ireland, preferably down in Cork. That's what I want. And a full Irish cast, like I think that's pretty easy to do. I feel like you have really, and maybe you can include maybe some British actors, but that would be a little bit like betraying the Irish population. What I was getting at is that I feel like there's so many fan casts that people are gonna be disappointed because they've set this themselves for an expectation that maybe Amazon is not able to meet because the expectations in your head are literally like sky high, and it's not supposed to be like that. They're not supposed to be sky high, and I think people are mad because they're like, if they don't make the perfect cast, like that, it's like it's over. Just because whoever they casted doesn't look like exactly like what you envisioned, doesn't mean the show is gonna be bad. Actually, maybe they do a better job than who you thought would be, like who you wanted. And that really frustrated me because I'm like, some of the like, especially because I feel like there's not Irish actors are now making like a big, they're making it big. So there's so many opportunities for new actors to make it big, and just because it's not someone like Jacob Elordi playing Johnny Kavanaugh, doesn't mean they're not gonna be good or like attractive enough or whatever, which is also something really weird. This is another point. People have been like, oh, I'm gonna be so frustrated when random people started calling Johnny Kavanaugh their husband when he was my husband first. But then you have people saying they're gonna be like, sexualizing, teenagers because they are teenagers in the book. And if you're mad, first of all, you shouldn't be saying my man, my man, my man, because that's a 17-year-old boy. And unless you're also 17, you shouldn't be doing that. I am 21, almost 22 in like 2 weeks. I don't do that. I can say he does gentleman actions that I wish men in real life did, but I don't sexualize a 17-year-old boy. And if you're saying that and getting frustrated over other people doing it after watching the show, I don't know, that's kind of weird. Also, because say Johnny and everybody else were college students, it was perfectly, they're adults. Why are we gatekeeping? Oh my god, that's the whole point of what people are doing here. They're gatekeeping the book series. Why don't you want success for Chloe Walsh? That's insane. Insane. We'll get to that. So I think the expectations on the casting is just like kind of really crazy. There are some certain expectations, of course, of like Shannon being small and like malnourished. That's obviously a technicality. I don't know. I can't even say the word. Shannon's body image. I think that is something you need to leave up to the professionals and to the casting crew and to Chloe Walsh. I don't think us fans should be doing that. Um, I say leave it up to Amazon to do that job and to Chloe Walsh. I do hope another requirement, I guess, is that Chloe Walsh, Jesus. I do hope Chloe Walsh is highly, highly involved in the creation of this show. That I feel like when Jenny Han was really involved with To All the Boys I Loved Before, they did a pretty good job. Um, the only thing I do have to agree with everybody here, 8 episodes, ooh, might be a little too short. If the rumor is true that it's both binding and keeping 13 for 8 episodes, I do have to disagree. I do think it should be, if anything, 12. If anything, but I don't know how official that is, so I'm not gonna get. I also don't really agree with that. I think it should be longer. If it's only binding 13, I think that could be fine. I think that could be fine. But if it's both keeping and binding 13, it should definitely be at least 12 episodes. Okay. My next point is writers and producers concerns. I think this is confirmed. The writer for this is the writer for the Good Girls Guide to Murder. And as someone who's also a big fan of that trilogy, I think she did a good job with the show. Forgive me. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. And the other writer, I'm not sure about. I don't know much about her. I looked her up. There isn't much on her, but maybe I'm not looking in the right places. So if there isn't much on her, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So I don't know why people on TikTok who, I'm just saying, we're not the professionals. You're not a producer. You don't know how this world works. You don't know, like, you're not in the room with Chloe Walsh. That's basically the point. Like, I don't know. Sure, they'll take some input from fans, like they see it on social media, but at the end of the day, they know how to do this. Like, they have the vision. So I would trust them and trust the process. And even if it's the same writer as a Good Girl Guide to Murder, maybe she takes a different approach with this, which is also a fair assumption because one's a mystery thriller and this is romance. It's romance. Well, it is romance, but I'm not trying to downplay the bad parts either. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm being very careful with my words. Um, but yeah, I want to go back to the gatekeeping, but because it's insane how people are trying to gatekeep this series. Like, they won't be my babies anymore. I'm like, guys, the whole point is for you guys to find more community. People yearn for community. Please let people enjoy, whether it's on paper, on a TV screen. I don't know, audiobooks. I don't know. Just let people enjoy it. I don't I never got the point of gatekeeping. I've been a part of many fandoms, and there's some fandoms that I've arrived late to, and the amount of hate for arriving late at a fandom is insane. I don't get it. I don't get the gatekeeping. I don't get it. I get hating on fake fans, obviously, but I don't get like criticizing people for arriving late to a fandom or starting to like something because it got popular. I don't get it. Don't do that. It pushes people away. People like community. People like meeting people with the same interests. Don't push them away. You might make you might meet your new best friend through that. Don't do that. Um, I think another big concern. This one's definitely a little more serious. Is portraying the abuse that happens, at least in the Lynch household. And I also do have concerns, but I have more faith in the producers and Chloe Walsh than everybody else's reaction. I think these people know what they're doing and they're in, I hope the story is in good hands. Of course, the story is very serious. Their story is very serious, not something to take lightly. We all know how it used to be in YA, now it's in adult. I think that change is important. Um, but I saw someone say like, I don't know how they're gonna like put that on TV, like how that's appropriate for TV. For one, when it comes to adapting that kind of thing, there is much worse. I can tell you, TV has seen much worse than this kind of story. Um, And I think you're able to express the story without showing everything. And there's a lot of ways to do that. You see it in TV, you see in movies. There's a way to show really bad things without showing them. There's a lot of ways of saying or not saying or showing or not showing things that happen and make people understand. And I trust Chloe Walsh and everybody else to do that, to make it understandable without showing something that could be triggering or not appropriate for teenage actors to be doing if they do end up casting teenagers, because of course there's child labor laws, and we don't I don't know much about that, so I'm not gonna get into that and talk about it like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. I think there's a way to show a story even if you're not showing it how the book shows it. And here comes the, oh, but it's not accurate. Oh my god, there's a lot of things that, like, they're not gonna be able to do every single little thing. They're not. And I think there's one last point, but I'm gonna elaborate on this a little bit more. If you're able to talk about serious topics like this in a book, you're able to put it on TV. Make it appropriate, make it, go about it the right way, of course. Make sure it's explained and showed in the right way. But if you're able to put it in writing, you're able to put it on TV and make it alert, and let people know they're not romanticizing it, they're not taking it lightly. It is a serious topic, and there's ways to do that. And I hope and trust Chloe Walsh, like I said, and the rest of the team to do that. And I think that's it. That's all it comes down to. Like, it can be. I understand it's a concern, and it's something I also not worry about, but I also think about. But I think you need to trust the people that decided to read these books and decided they wanted to put it on screen, and hope they do a good job. If they don't do a good job, once we see the final product, that's when, you know. But now all we know is that they made the announcement. That's all we know. That's what I'm trying to get. We don't know much. We don't know much, and people are jumping into big conclusions, and it's not good. It's not good. People are acting like it's the end of the world. And in terms of the show and the books being adapted, not the story, let me get this clear. The books being adapted and people freaking out, I just want to say one thing. Is it ever that serious? Oh my god. Is it really ever that serious? No, it's not. It's not ever that serious. If you don't want if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Don't go on the internet and hate on it and do whatever and tell people not to watch it. People Oh my, it really pisses me off. That's the one thing I was really pissed off about. I'm going to get into what I wanted to get, the final topic, because it kind of, there's two ish. The fact, the amount of hate, I'm trying to get my thoughts together, people. Trying to cancel a show just because you're not happy or sure, or you're insecure, like, trying to cancel a show overall. Trying to cancel a show because you don't want it to happen is absolutely bonkers. Because imagine Chloe Walsh. She must have been so happy that something she worked on for so long and still is working on gets picked up and has a chance to be on a screen. And she's excited to share with her fans, and her fans are supposed to be happy about it. Imagine seeing a petition of people trying to cancel a show that probably doesn't even have a cast yet. Don't try and cancel a show. If you don't want to watch it, then decide not to watch it and let other people who want to watch it watch it. I keep saying watch. I'm very sorry. But if you're not if you decide like they're gonna be like, it's gonna ruin the books, then don't watch it. Just decide to stick to the books, read the books. You don't have to see it. You don't need to get into that part. You don't need to see everything involving fandom to be included. If you don't want to see the show, don't make other people feel bad for wanting the show. Don't make the author feel terrible for getting this opportunity, which is huge. Like, do you guys know? Like, sure, reading is popular now. It's gone popular, but do you guys know how bad it is for authors to like make a living? It's terrible. It's terrible. So to have this amount of success, it's rare. And instead of building the author up, you're tearing her down, trying to get her show canceled, which is crazy. I just think it's such like nothing's ever that serious. Nothing is ever that serious. And this is coming from someone who loves reading, who loves this series, who loves deep emotional stories, and I hope they do it justice. I'm gonna repeat this so many times. I hope they do it justice, and I hope they do it right in every context of the way, down to the casting, down to the storyline, down to everything. Of course, I do hope they do it well. That's the whole point. But nothing's ever serious enough where you are crying about it. Well, actually, no. Crying is fine. I get it. People are emotional. I'm emotional. I cried over movies before. But nothing serious enough where you have to take it to the internet, spew extreme hate. I think I heard somebody doxed Chloe Walsh. Oh, God, that's terrible. I think that is terrible behavior. Trying to cancel those shows, terrible behavior. Hating on her is terrible behavior. Not wishing her success is terrible behavior. Preying on the downfall of the show's terrible behavior, not only for Chloe Walsh, but for the actors involved and everybody and the team involved. Like, this is hard effort. Just because, imagine the show doesn't turn out how you wanted it to be. That doesn't mean there wasn't work behind it. And you're putting other people's works down. And I think that's terrible. Maybe I'm too compassionate like that. Maybe I'm too empathetic like that, but I think people's reactions have been absolutely terrible for a project we barely know anything about. I don't even think 8 episodes is confirmed. So that's my opinion. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited. I hope it comes in 2027 so we can see progression of the work. And I hope, like I said, my three requirements: Irish cast, filmed in Ireland, Chloe Walsh highly involved. That's all I ask. Is there anything else I haven't talked about in this list? Yeah, like I said, I'm very excited for the show. 8 episodes, like I said, we'll see. I don't know. That's the one thing I'm like, ugh. But yeah, again, I'm trusting the cast. I'm trusting not the cast. I'm trusting Prime to do a good job. Maybe I'm too optimistic about it, but I'm trusting them. And I just think, oh, what's that saying? Sometimes, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I honestly believe that most of the time. Sometimes you do need to be a little rude, but this was blown out of proportion. I think this like I never seen such like rudeness inside of fandom. I think this is insane. But let's go back because I'm excited. I don't have a fan casting in mind. Again, like I said, full Irish cast, but I don't really know many Irish actors. I hope they pick new incoming actors, which would be really cool. In terms of age, I hope they're close to being teenagers, but to represent the age range more. But I don't know. I also hope they do pick also actor for the boys. I do also hope they do pick, if possible, actual rugby players, and for Joey, hurling. That would be really cool. Again, don't have a casting idea, but I'm just excited. I'm excited to see the scenery. Of course, I know it's not gonna be like a Cliff Moher, sorry, kind of vibe. But I'm excited to see Ireland. I I love shows and movies where everybody knows. I called myself an honorary Irish person a few videos ago, so but yeah, I'm excited for this series. I hope it. What I hope happens. What I hope happens. It is a season per book. So one season for Binding 13, one season for Keeping 13, and so on. It's not gonna be a lot of seasons, yes, but it's a lot of books. Um, that's what I hope, and I think we can make that work. And I don't know what else. I think I'm wearing my Heater Rivalry sweatshirt. I think we can also talk about a little bit, just really quickly, before I end this video, this podcast episode. I think. Oh my god, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, that there's been announcements of a lot of book adaptations. And do I think they're overdoing it? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have not drawn a conclusion to that. I think, to me, like, the only point I have to make when it comes to that is going back to the, if you don't want to watch it, don't. But as long as they're doing a good job, I don't really care. I'm not a big TV show person. I'm trying to be, so it's also not really my territory. But yeah, I don't know. That's all for today's episode. I just kind of just wanted to maybe reassure people that there is people that want to watch this show and are excited for this, and reassure people that give it time. I think they probably just decided it was happening, so they just posted it was happening. So I think people are a little rattled about it. And yeah, that's this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week with maybe a YouTube video, maybe another podcast episode. Who knows? But that's it. I'll see you guys. Bye.